Alright, our next problem is Chapter 3, Section 5, page 167, number 36. It's a word problem. We have the John Deere Company has found that the revenue from sales of heavy-duty tractors is a function of the unit price P in dollars that it charges. The revenue R in dollars is, and then we're given our equation, which for part A, we are going to be using R of P equals negative 1/2 P raised to the second power plus 1,900 P. Part A, at what prices is revenue 0? So we want to find where negative 1/2 P to the second power plus 1900 P, we want to find where that equals 0. Right? Well, first step is I am going to factor out a P. So if I have P times negative 1/2 P plus 1900, close my parentheses, equals 0. Well, next step is we set each factor equal to 0 and solve for P. So P equals 0. That one was easy. And then negative 1/2 P plus 1900 equals 0. Well, our first step is we subtract 1900 from each side. So negative 1/2 P equals negative 1900. Then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of negative 1/2, which is negative 2/1. So times negative 2. So on the left we just get P equals, and on the right when we multiply 2 times negative 2 times negative 1900, we get positive 3,800. So that means that our values for P are at $0, and the other 0 is at $3,800. Now, let's take a look at part B. Part B, it says, for what range of prices will revenue exceed $1,200,000? Well, our revenue is so for part B, negative 1/2 P squared plus 1900 P. We want to know where this is going to exceed, so that means greater than 1,200,000. Alright, well, we're going to solve this for P. We have to move everything to the same side of the inequality symbol. So I'm going to, since I like to have my squared term positive, I am going to add 1/2 P squared, and I'm going to subtract 1900 P. So I have 0 is greater than 1/2 P squared minus 1900 P plus 1,200,000. Now, this is a little large to try to factor, so I am going to use the quadratic formula. So, P equals 1900, because we have to change its sign, because it says negative B. So 1900 plus or minus square root of b squared, so negative 1900 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1/2, times c, which is 1,200,000, all over 2 times a. Well, a is 1/2. Okay. Now, first step is we're going to take and do some cleaning up. So we have p equals 1900 plus or minus square root of, if I square negative 1900, I get 3,610,000. So 3610,000 minus, now if I take 4 times 1/2, I get 2, times 120,000, I get, 1,200,000, I get 2,400,000. Okay, and all of this is over 2 times 1/2 is just 1. Okay, so now we won't need the denominator from now on. So p equals 1900 plus or minus square root. If I do my subtracting, 3,610,000 minus 2,400,000 leaves me with 1,210,000. And then taking the square root of that, I get p equals 1900 plus or minus, and I get 1,100. Well, if I take p equals 1900 minus 1100, I get p equals 800. Okay, if I take p equals 1900 plus 1100, okay, I get p equals 3000. Now, those are my critical numbers. I have to test, is my answer going to be between them, or is it going to be on the outside of them? So I just draw myself a generic number line. I put 800 on it. I put 3000 on it. I'm going to test a point between them. If I test a point between them, let's just say 1,000, I plug it into my original equation, inequality up here. So if I plugged in 1,000 up here, let me see. If I take negative 1/2 times 1,000 squared plus 1,900 times 1,000, I get 101,400,000, which 1,400,000 is larger than 1,200,000. So at 1,000, yes, it worked. Now, if I want to make sure nothing on the outside works, I could try something like 0. That would be an easy one. So we'd have 0 here, 0 here. Is 0 greater than 1,200,000? No way. See how I said it will either work in between them or outside of them. Since this one does not work, we do not need to try a number larger than 3,000. But if I had my doubts, I would try another number that's larger than 3,000. So my answer is between 800 and 3,000. So between 800 and 3,000. And here we have it. There's our final answer for part B.